Hello aspirants, welcome to GDC English classes. So in this session we will discuss about MCQs on ANS part 3. So this is a part of Pharma 360 degree MCQ series. The series is specially designed for to make how the MCQs will appear in the exam and what are the different types of MCQs from the different subjects and different kinds of basics as well as concept. Especially our intention is making the student to feel easy before entering into his exam like GPAT, NIPER, drug inspector as well as a pharmacist. So this is the session we will discuss MCQs on ANS part 3. Already we done discussion on ANS part 1, part 2. The videos are in our channel. So subscribe to our channel and watch that part 1, part 2 videos, then watch the part 3 video. So for whatever it may be, if you are going for a competitive examination, if you are preparing for a something, first we have to believe in yourself. So if you are watching the GDC classes, means definitely you are that type of person only, and after that you can blindly believe the GDC classes. You know the quality and content of GDC classes, and always the intention of GDC make the dreams of students as well as aspirants into the reality. So let's go into the session with first MCQ. So what is the first MCQ here? Highly lipid soluble, comma, rapidly crosses blood-brain barrier, longer acting carbamide. Okay, example like rivastigmine, donepezil, physostigmine, galantamine. Not example, option. So highly lipid soluble, rapidly crosses blood-brain barrier, and generally, especially in the parasympathetic nervous system, we will come across quaternary ammonium compounds as well as tertiary ammonium compounds. Quaternary ammonium compounds are having poor penetration into blood-brain barrier because they are cationic in nature and polar nature, having poor absorption as well as distribution. Coming to tertiary amines, they having good absorption distribution. They can easily penetrate the blood-brain barrier because of their lipophilic nature. So rivastigmine, donepezil, physostigmine, galantamine, all these are indirectly acting parasymptomimetic. Among this, the answer will goes to the rivastigmine. So all stigmines are indirectly acting parasympathomimetics. They inhibit the acetylcholine esterase enzyme, decrease the degradation metabolism of acetylcholine, and increase the levels of acetylcholine. The next MCQ is, which is not an effect of atropine. I hope you know that atropine is a parasympatholytic naturally from the Atropa belladonna, belong to the family Solanaceae, and Atropa belladonna containing anisocytic stomata or unequally celled stomata. And atropine is non-selective. It can block all types of muscarinic receptor. All muscarinic receptors are belongs to the G protein coupled receptors. Okay. Here the question is, which is not an effect of atropine? Relaxes ciliary muscle. Yes. Atropine is a parasympatholytic. It causes relaxation of ciliary muscle. Reduces lower esophageal tone. Decrease the tone of esophagus. Bradycardia. Bronchodilation. Yes. Parasympathomimetic causes bronchial constriction. Parasympatholytic atropine causes bronchodilation. And bradycardia. Bradycardia. Generally, parasympathomimetic like acetylcholine causes bradycardia by relaxation of cardiac muscle. But atropine is a parasympatholytic. So atropine is opposite to parasympathomimetic, causes tachycardia. So here answer will be the bradycardia. So the atropine effect, which of the effect is not a atropine effect is bradycardia, because atropine produces tachycardia because atropine is a parasympatholytic opposite to the parasympathomimetic, that is acetylcholine. Answer is the bradycardia. Next, mecamylamine. So this is a direct question. So mecamylamine, it is an anti-muscarinic agent, ganglionic blocking agent, ganglionic stimulant, anti-choline esterase. So anti-choline esterases, nothing but they inhibit the acetylcholine esterase enzyme like rivastigmine, physostigmine, neostigmine, donepezil, etc. So this is not answer. Ganglionic stimulant, drugs like nicotine, lobelin, and parasympathomimetic, they may stimulate the ganglia, NN receptors. That is, NN nothing but nicotic neuronal or nicotic ganglionic receptor. And ganglionic blockers. Yes, mecamylamine is a ganglionic blocker. It blocks the NN receptor present on the ganglia. And anti-muscarinic. Mecamylamine is not an anti-muscarinic. Mecamylamine is an anti-nicotinic. It blocks NN receptors, ganglia. Okay. So the answer is simply it is a ganglionic blocking agent. Which drug is not an anticholinergic agent? So anticholinergic agent example like atropine, hyoscine, valethamate. There are many examples. So anticholinergic, they are parasympatholytic. Okay. So ipratropine bromide anticholinergic, dicyclomine anticholinergic, atropine anticholinergic, natural from plant source. Amphetamine is a CNS stimulant. Amphetamine comes under indirectly acting sympathomimetic and it is a CNS stimulant because it increases noradrenaline and dopamine levels in the central nervous system and excites the central nervous system. Excites the central nervous system. So action of atropine on I by which receptor subtype like M1 receptor subtype, M2 receptor subtype, M3 receptor subtype, all of this. So action of atropine on I by which receptor subtype. So atropine is a parasympatholytic, shows action opposite to the acetylcholine. So atropine shows its action on eye. It causes relaxation of ciliary muscle. It causes mydriasis, dilation of pupil of eye by acting on type 3 muscarinic receptor. There are 5 types of muscarinic receptor. So all types of muscarinic receptor can block by atropine because atropine is a parasympatholytic. It is non-selective will block all types of muscarinic receptor. All types of muscarinic receptors belongs to G protein coupled receptors. So the answer is the M3 receptor. Next, which anticholinergic drug is a natural derivative? So atropine, naturally from Atropa belladonna, ipratropium, tiotropium. So there is a here drug is like tiotropium, ipratropium, tiotropium, and acetylcholine. Acetylcholine naturally present in the body. It is endogenous molecule. It is a neurotransmitter in the parasympathetic nervous system. This acetylcholine is also known as a vagus nerve. Vagus is a 10th cranial nerve. When this vagus nerve innervated, it releases a material known as acetylcholine, nothing but a vagus stuff. Okay. So here, so atropine from natural source, ipratropium, tiotropium are semi-synthetic derivative of atropine, and acetylcholine is naturally present in the body. Here asking anticholinergic drug is a natural derivative that is especially from the plant source, that is atropine, nothing but Atropa belladonna, belong to the family Solanaceae. And it is comes under the tropane alkaloid. Regarding cognition, it is comes under tropane alkaloid. Which anticholinergic drug is synthetic derivative and used in antispasmodic? Used as a antispasmodic. So spasm, nothing but unintentional contraction, unwanted contraction like jerking movements. So telinzapine, pyrenzapine, selective M1 receptor blockers in the gastric glands helps in the treatment of ulcer. And dicyclomine, procyclidine, acetylcholine. So the answer is dicyclomine. Anticholinergic drug is a synthetic derivative used as an antispasmodic agent. Yes, answer is the dicyclomine. As an antispasmodic agent, it is a semi-synthetic derivative and it is an anticholinergic method, parasympatholytic, shows action similar to atropine. That is opposite to acetylcholine, a parasympathomimetic. Next, the shortest acting. So next question is shortest acting mydriatic drug. So mydriatic nothing but it causes dilation of pupil of eye by causing relaxation of ciliary muscle of eye. So cyclopentolate, tropicamide, atropine, homatropium. So all these are having mydriatic in nature. All these are mydriatics. Atropine having many applications because atropine can block all types of muscarinic receptors non-selectively, especially drugs like homatropine, tropicamide, cyclopentolate. All these drugs are mydriatics. So mydriatics are used in case of excess miosis, excess constriction of pupil of eye. If the question is shortest acting mydriatic, nothing but answer will goes to the tropicamide. So cyclopentolate, tropicamide, atropine, homatropine, all are mydriatics. Among here, shortest duration will goes to the tropicamide. Atropine is useful in organophosphorus poisoning because organophosphorus poisoning, especially if you gone through the classification of parasympathomimic, there is an indirectly acting parasympathomimic which are inhibitors of choline esterase or acetylcholine esterase enzyme. In that organophosphorus compounds are there. When these organophosphorus compounds dose excess in the body, that leads to organophosphorus poisoning. So in that organophosphorus poisoning, what will happen? These organophosphorus compounds, what they will cause? They cause inactivation of acetylcholine esterase enzyme. So due to inactivation of acetylcholine esterase enzyme, what will happen? There is a increased levels of acetylcholine due to decreased metabolism of acetylcholine. So in organophosphorus cases, poisoning cases, excess acetylcholine will be there. That excess acetylcholine will causes excess meiosis, excess salivation, excess lacrimation, excess lung movements, decrease in the heart movements, excess gastric movements may lead to diarrhea. So in the organophosphorus poisoning, the compounds like parathione, malathione, okay, so they inhibit the acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Simply they cause inactivation of this acetylcholine esterase enzyme that leads to severe increase in acetylcholine levels. So in that case, that excess dominated acetylcholine function can be calmed down by, can be bring down by the atropine, because see the option, it reactivate acetylcholine esterase enzyme, no, pralidoxime, drug like pralidoxime, pralidoxime, drug like pralidoxime, it causes reactivation of acetylcholine esterase enzyme, but not atropine cause reactivation. Compete with acetylcholine release. So atropine does not interfere with release of acetylcholine. Bind with both nicotinic and muscarinic acetylcholine receptors. Atropine only block muscarinic receptor but not bind to the nicotinic receptor. It is a competitive antagonist of acetylcholine. Already in case of organophosphorus poisoning, there is a domination of acetylcholine levels in the body because of there is a inhibition of this enzyme. So due to domination of this acetylcholine, we have to prevent acetylcholine domination. We have to give atropine because atropine selectively block all muscarinic receptor and prevents further binding of acetylcholine and decrease the poisoning of nothing but decreases organophosphorus poisoning, reduces organophosphorus poisoning and its symptoms also. So answer is, it is a competitive antagonist of acetylcholine, prevents binding of acetylcholine to the muscarinic receptor and reduces the symptoms of organophosphorus poisoning. Atropine blocks all types of muscarinic receptors non-selectively and competitively. So antagonists are large molecule, they block the receptors competitively in presence of agonist. Here agonist is the acetylcholine, antagonist is the atropine. The anticholinergic drug useful in the treatment of peptic ulcer. Atropine is a non-selective blocker can for treatment of all types. Okay. Ipratropium bromide, pyrenzapine, glycopyrrolate. So glycopyrrolate generally has an anti-muscarinic as a pre-anesthetic agent. Pyrenzapine or telenzapine selectively for treatment of peptic ulcer by blocking type 1 muscarinic receptors in gastric glands. Ipratropium, tiotropium for treatment of asthma as well as COPD. Okay. And atropine is a common drug. It has many applications. So pyrenzapine, telenzapine selectively block type 1 muscarinic receptors in gastric gland and helps in the treatment of ulcer. Ulcer. Which of the following agent is a ganglionic blocker? Homatropine, pentolinum, rapacuronium, adrofonium. Which of the following agent is a ganglionic blocker? So ganglionic blocker nothing but they acts on the NN receptor. They block the NN receptor. Homatropine. Homatropine is a muscarinic antagonist. Pentolinum, rapacuronium, edrophonium. So edrophonium is a diagnostic agent for myasthenia gravis. Rapacuronium, NM receptor blocker, and pentolinum. Pentolinum is a ganglionic blocker here. So homatropine, mydriatic, anti-muscarinic drug, pentolinium, anti-nicotinic block NN receptor, nothing but ganglionic blocker, and drepacuronium, a quaternary ammonic compound, block NN receptor, nicotinic muscle receptor present on the skeletal muscle, and edrophonium, a diagnostic agent. Edrophonium, a diagnostic agent for myasthenia gravis. Next, anticholinergic drug used for motion sickness. I hope previously also I asked. I hope you are enjoying our videos regarding content as well as quality. If anything is there you want to inform to us, so you can mention the chat box, and definitely it is our responsibility make the changes according to your requirement. So don't hesitate to give your feedback or give your suggestions, or you can mention the changes what you need also. Okay. So anticholinergic drug for treatment of motion sickness is scopolamine, atropine, tropicamide, all of this. So anticholinergic drug used for motion sickness, especially scopolamine. This scopolamine also known as a hyoscine. Hyoscine. Okay. Hyoscine L isomer is active and atropine is non-selective muscarinic receptor blocker. Tropicamide is a mydriatic. So answer will be goes to the scopolamine is a drug of choice for treatment of motion sickness. Okay. Next. Here M1 selective antagonist in the treatment of peptic ulcer is acetylcholine, propanthaline, oxyphenonium, telinzapine. Telinzapine, pyrenzapine selectively block type 1 muscarinic receptor, helps in the treatment of peptic ulcer by blocking type 1 muscarinic receptors in the gastric glands. Okay, answer will goes to the telenzapine, pyrenzapine or selective M1 receptor blockers present in the gastric gland, helps in the treatment of peptic ulcer. Which of the following drug is synthetic compound used as a mydriatic? So synthetic compound as a mydriatic. Mydriatic nothing but the agent causes mydriasis, dilation of pupil of eye, relaxation of ciliary muscle of eye. So cyclopentolate, propanthaline, oxybutine, none of the above. So cyclopentolate, tropicamide, homotropium, these are mydriatics, causes dilation of pupil of eye, relaxation of ciliary muscle of eye. Type 2 muscarinic receptors present in. Type 2 muscarinic receptors in the CNS. In the CNS, generally there is a alpha 2 receptor from sympathetic and M1 receptors from muscarinic. Exocrine gland, pancreas, exocrine and both endocrine, containing M3 receptors, and heart containing from the muscarinic as a type 2 muscarinic receptor. All of the above is not an option. So type 2 muscarinic receptors generally present in the heart. So stimulation of these M2 receptors on heart through parasympathetic nervous system by innervation of vagus nerve causes relaxation of cardiac muscle. Relaxation of cardiac muscle. The answer is M2 receptors are present in the heart, cardiac muscle. That leads to relaxation of cardiac muscle, decrease in cardiac output, decrease in blood pressure because of decrease in number of contraction, decrease in number of beats, decrease in conduction velocity of the heart, cardiac muscle. Benzitropine. So benzitropine, benzihexol, benzitropine, benzihexol as well as biperidine. Biperidine. So benzitropine is an anti-muscarinic. It blocks the muscarinic receptor, helps in the treatment of option like Parkinson's, asthma, COPD, peptic ulcer, antispasmodic. So antispasmodic like dicyclamine reduces the pain in the GIT region. Peptic ulcer, pyrenzapine, telenzapaine selectively treatment for peptic ulcer by blocking M1 receptors in gastric glands. Asthma, COPD, yes, antimuscarinics, especially ipratropium, tiotropium, and Parkinson's disease. Drugs like benzitropine, benzihexol, biperidine helps in the treatment of Parkinsonism. What is Parkinsonism? Parkinsonism is a neurodegenerative disorder. Parkinsonism is a neurodegenerative disorder, leads to it. Generally what happen? Decreasing the dopamine, increasing acetylcholine. Decrease in dopamine reduce the body movements, increase in the dopamine, increase in the acetylcholine, increase the shivering. Okay. So simply decreasing dopamine as well as increasing acetylcholine in the substantia nigra of the brain. That leads to decreasing dopamine, decrease the free body movements, and increasing acetylcholine, increase the shivering in the body. Unusual contractions in the body, unnecessary contractions in the body. Answer is Parkinsonism. Benztropine is anti-muscarinic, helps in the treatment of Parkinsonism. Next, mechanism of action of tiotropium. First, we have to know tiotropium. Tiotropium, ipratropium, both blocks type 3 muscarinic receptors on bronchial smooth muscle, helps in the treatment of COPD asthma. Ipratropium, tiotropium are the two drugs. They selectively block type 3 muscarinic receptors on bronchial smooth muscle and helps in the treatment of asthma as well as COPD. Next, regarding the mechanism of action of tiotropium, stimulate the nicotinic receptors, stimulate the muscarinic receptor, inhibit the nicotinic receptor, inhibit the muscarinic receptor. So ipratropium, tiotropium selectively block type 3 muscarinic receptors on the bronchial smooth muscle, helps in the treatment of asthma COPD. So they use to block muscarinic receptor, tiotropium, ipratropium. Both are semi-synthetic derivatives of atropine, atropa belladonna. Answer is option B. Next. Which of the following drug anti-muscarinic tertiary amine derivative? Which of the following drug is anti-muscarinic and it is a tertiary amine derivative? Option like valatamate, propantholene, glycopyrrolate, oxyphenone. Okay, answer will be the option A, that is valitamate. That is valitamate. So valitamate is an anti-muscarinic and it is a tertiary amine derivative. Tertiary amines are tertiary ammonium compounds are lipophilic in nature, can having good absorption and have easy penetration to the blood-brain barrier. But quaternary ammonium compounds are cationic, they are polar in nature, having poor absorption and distribution. Which of the following is a quaternary ammonium compound used in ganglionic competitive blocker? Which of the following is a quaternary ammonium compound used in ganglionic competitive blocker? Hexamethonium, mecamylamine, pempidine, all of the above. Okay, they are quaternary. All ganglionic blockers as well as skeletal muscle relaxants like neuromuscular blockers, the drugs blocking NM receptors, they are quaternary ammonium compound. Quaternary ammonium compounds are polar in nature. They have a poor absorption distribution orally. They are unable to cross the blood-brain barrier also. So all are ganglionic blockers. They are quaternary ammonium compounds having the sorry for inconvenience. So which of the following is a quaternary ammonium compound? And here clearly mentioned hexamethonium, quaternary ammonium. Hexamethonium, quaternary ammonium compound. And remaining mecamylamine, pempidine also ganglion blocker, but they are not quaternary ammonium compounds. Hexamethonium, onium, ammonium, quaternary ammonium. So hexamethonium is a quaternary ammonium compound for treatment of as a ganglionic blocker. Lobeline is also known as Indian tobacco, and lobeline is also known as asthma weed, Lobelia inflata, asthma weed, used to treat asthma, used to kill asthma. So lobeline is an anti-muscarinic, selective nicotinic, ganglionic stimulant, anticholinesterase. So generally lobeline is like nicotine. So it stimulates the nicotinic receptors. It is a selective nicotinic agonist. It can stimulate the nicotinic receptors. Okay. Answer is the lobeline is a selective nicotinic agonist. It is also from the plant source. So this is regarding our MCQ session on the ANS part 3. I hope you are understanding the basics as well as points from the corner of concepts also. So anything is there, let us know. So subscribe to GDC English classes and don't give up on your preparation. Everything is possible with human beings. We are only for achieving the things, but for that purpose we have to implement the things, because If you have the knowledge, that is not enough. But the way of preparation, the way of focus, the way of keeping yourself in the preparation throughout months, years will make the things impossible to possible. All the best.